As a wife and a mom, and especially as a woman, I feel that it's my responsibility to carry the weight of life in all aspects, whether it be professionally and personally, and sometimes that gets a little overwhelming.
So I assumed what it was is just kind of like one of those lessons where it's like, how much baggage are you really willing to carry as you're going up to the mountain of success?
Women are different. I feel like men more easily compartmentalize and take on things that they want to take on, whereas women kind of just absorb everything around them.
So as the wife of an entrepreneur, I feel that weight on myself at home of just having to pick up the slack when he's gone more. I need to be there more for the kids, and I need to be there more to make sure that everything's good at home. I feel like that weight gets even heavier.
I've been my entire life. I started in technology, now I'm in insurance and adjusting and the whole thing and software, and there's never been a space for me.
I don't think that there's a lot of spaces for women, especially in leadership.
So at Revolt, our goal is to help women realize that they're not doing this alone. They don't have to do it alone. We're not created to do this alone. God didn't create us to be in this alone.
There are things that in all of our lives that we can choose to carry or to share the burden of, or to share the weight of, but we choose not to give it up, or we ask for help, or we wait until someone asks us. And there's just so many little things that we learn about ourselves in this exercise, and I think it's really powerful.
I knew I couldn't do the whole thing on my own. I really couldn't.
Sometimes prioritizing, you know what, I don't need to do the dishes right now because I'm going to be with my kids for a second. Or just like deciding in that moment the boundary.
To help, but some of the balls you're juggling are made of glass. Some are made of rubber. There are some you can drop and they'll bounce back. There are some that when they drop, they break. And it's very hard to fix them. If you drop your health, you can only go so far before you can't get it back. But when you drop the ball on your relationships with your kids, with your husband, whoever, like
having that, I guess, camaraderie is so important, especially for women in male-dominant industries in general.
Once everybody starts opening up, you realize, okay, I'm not alone in this. All these other women are feeling the same way. It might not be the exact same situation as you're in, but they have the same struggles that you do, and they have the same weight, and we all take on that extra weight and that extra burden. I was gonna save this for the next time, but who am I to tell you that you have to hold on to all that stuff? Like, I love that you put those rocks down, or you held the rocks and you said, I'm not picking those back up. Because it's not, we have to get to a point where we decide, who are you? Who is all these other people, even if it's yourself, to be saying these are the rules that you have to follow.
So Maggie and them did a great job of putting everything into perspective on this hike. As a mother, a wife, a business professional.
We have to get uncomfortable to make progress. Like we don't realize that. We try to stay safe and cozy and comfortable, and sometimes we have to be like in the middle of it and in this discomfort before we ever get anywhere with it. And then you really do, when you're in that most uncomfortable moment, is when you're like right there on the edge of a breakthrough.
I wasn't ready. I'm not an emotional person. I'm not a crier. I'm not somebody that shares easily. So even just getting choked up for me during today's activity was so hard.
When we get out there in the woods and someone has carried that hidden burden the whole way through the woods, they may have had an opportunity to share earlier on in the retreat, but didn't feel like they were ready to. It's just like what we hold on to in real life. Do y'all have any burden in your life that you feel like you had like this, that you don't talk to people and you don't tell people about, and you feel like you can't, and why can't you? But then something happens when you're in the hike that kind of opens up the door again.
And that's where we usually get a lot of emotions and a lot of breakthroughs and realizations.
I have several struggles in my life that I don't share much, that I don't feel like I can share for different reasons. I wasn't going to share last night in fire chat. I just wasn't. It's so much like I've held it in so long, and I've carried the weight so long that like if somebody said, well, let's talk about it, like I don't even know where to begin. Like I don't even know. And then I don't want people to say, well, to judge me. I'm worried about being judged because of the decisions that I've that I'm making or trying to work out.
When we meet people out in the world, sometimes they're carrying a heavy burden, and it's oftentimes something we can't see. We don't know that they're struggling with. And when we don't know that they're struggling with it, nobody can help them.
It's really uplifting to hear what we go through, get different perspectives, challenge each other sometimes when maybe we're in our own head.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't wait to get my husband involved in this. And I really feel that the entire Revolt framework and community is going to support us with that.
We're not showing up for a one-day workshop. We're showing up, we're spending a weekend together, we're getting vulnerable, we're talking about things that maybe we've never told anyone else.
It's not a book club, it's not a gossip club or a tea party, it's not a surface level group. It's a space where women can come, and it's not just a fun retreat, it's not just a business retreat where you're learning about business and how to grow your business, how to make more money. It really is special because you get these group of ladies that you can't find in your day-to-day life.
You don't know who you are until you're challenged to reveal it to yourself.